What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review. This one is of Lost Season 1, Episode 6, House of the Rising Sun. All right, y'all. We're going to hop right into it. This is pretty much a filler episode for me. There was not much action going on, even though we had action. I think at this particular time in the season, the writers realized we got a lot of damn characters to get through. Because we are still learning who these peoples are. These peoples without an S, these people are. And then that way we're gonna and I want to say almost this whole season we are still learning who these people are. Like I said, there are 25 episodes in this first season, so again, I'm gonna start dropping them on a more consistent basis. I lost my voice last week, y'all. My whole nasal passage swelled up and I couldn't breathe out my mouth. I'm still having a little bit of troubles right now, but I'm here. I am here, and we gonna get right to this episode. We on the beach. Okay? We on the beach. Sun is sitting there. She's smelling the beautiful flowers. You know, she's cultivating. Jen is out there in the water fishing like he always do. And Kate and Jack are sitting off to the side, seemingly flirtatious with one another. They laugh and they joking. They talking about his tattoos, because he got a lot of them, considering that he was a doctor. You know, he's like an undercover punk. You know what I'm saying? Punk rock. Punk, not like the old term. Okay. But yeah, so that's they up here laughing and joking, and everybody is taking notice of how much that Jack and Kate are spending so much time with each other. Well, Jack tells everybody they about to go on the hike just the night before, because we going day by day here, y'all. We just on day 7 of being on this doggone island, and they finna go on this doggone hike to go to the water source. They wanted everybody to get together and start doing things on the beach as an organized group, and getting water was a task that they was gonna have to do. So John Locke, Jack, Kate, and Charlie. Charlie go on every trip. He go on every little trip that they have. They decide they're gonna be the ones to go out there and get the water. Now, we flash back to Sun and Jen, because we're about to get their story. They had an event, but they're not at the event together. It seems like it's kind of like a highfalutin ass event. Crazy Rich Asians. That's what's basically going on. Not to seem stereotypical, but that's what's going on. It's a Crazy Rich Asian scenario, the type of event that she in. And Jen, is a server. So he kind of beneath her in status as far as status goes. Okay, so they not supposed to be together. You know, they whisking off in the darkness over in the pond, and away from the light together, so they can smooch and do all that good stuff together, right? And they talk about her father. He does not want them to be together. Okay, of course, Jen is not good enough for his doggone daughter. And she tells him, you don't know my father. You don't know what type of man he is. He's, kind of stern. Okay, but Jen is insistent that he's going to win this man over. Okay, he's going to get him with his good face and good charms and all that stuff. Then we go back to the beach. And Michael is out there with little Walt, just walking along the beach. And out of nowhere, Jen just rushed Michael and started beating the cowboy shit out of him. Baby, he is beating him down. Not only is he beating him down, he had dragged his ass into the water, because black men don't know how to swim that good. And he started drowning the fuck out of Michael, right? And everybody just screaming. Walt tried to jump in and help his daddy. He only 10 years old. He tried to jump in and help his daddy. Jen took one good arm and flung little Walt ass across the damn beach. Everybody standing there screaming and helping. Now, when Sawyer and Saeed was fighting, everybody wanted to intervene. Everybody wanted to get involved. Well, when you see this man beating up this black man on the beach for seemingly no reason at all, nobody does nothing. Everybody just standing around looking stupid, looking like a duck. That's exactly what happened. Exactly what happened in this case too. And Son, is she screaming, but don't nobody know what the fuck Son is saying. She's trying to say stop. She's trying to tell Jen to leave the man alone, but he's not hearing her. He's in a red rage right now. He's in a red rage. Okay. All of a sudden, Saeed and Sawyer come running out. Baby, Saeed took off like he was in flight. I don't even remember his feet touching the ground. He bulldozed the shit out of Jen, knocked him about 10 feet into the doggone water, and they rustling and testing and rustling and testing. And then Sawyer goes to Michael's aid. Now, when Sawyer came out, he had brought the handcuffs with him because, you know, they playing sheriff and stuff right now. And he talks to Saeed the handcuffs, and Saeed handcuffs Jen and handcuffs him to the doggone plane. Okay. Now, on the beach. Now, he got him handcuffed on the beach. He got him handcuffed. And Saeed is yelling at Michael, what happened? What did you do? He even yelled it to Son, what happened? But he knows she speak nothing but Korean. Saeed is convinced that she understands, though. He is convinced. Well, about they're in the jungle, Lock, Jack, Kate, and Charlie, they make it back to the part of the plane that Jack found with his father's coffin in it. And Charlie plans to scout the plane for medical supplies. Okay, well, Charlie, while they scouting, because Jack mentioned, hey, if you find medical supplies, bring them back. We need the drugs. He thought about it. Oh, shit, I got some drugs on me. So he decided to go out in the woods to get himself a little bump, right? Well, when he went out there to go get the little bump, who followed him? Lock. He on him, lock, step, and toe, right there. Like, hey, wherever you go, I go. Yo, buddy. Wherever you go. What's the song? My buddy. Wherever I go, he goes, my buddy. I thought that was a shoe. What buddy shoes? Anywho, child. So, yeah. Okay, so why Charlie out there and Lock to him don't move? I'm thinking it's a snake lurking or something. We already know it wasn't a boy because you heard the boy. And Charlie's like, what the fuck you mean? He said, don't move. Matter of fact, don't even talk. Be quiet. Stand very still. And then Kate and Jack run up like, hey, what's up? What's going on? He said, hey, everybody, be quiet. He is standing on top of a beehive. Charlie like, what the fuck you mean I'm on top of a beehive? Beehives are normally in the trees. Why is this one on the ground? Well, it's an active hive, and he's standing right there on top of it. Not on it yet, but just atop of it. And the bees are starting to swarm. Now, Charlie is allergic to bees. Well, not allergic. He's scared of bees. Yeah, I guess he might be. I don't think he is allergic because his throat probably was swollen when he got stung. But he had a whole lot of bees all over him. I would have freaked the fuck out. I do not like stuff crawling on me. If y'all was watching my video yesterday, a goddamn fruit fly came into my room. I freaked out. I didn't have a total freak out, but y'all saw me. I was like, what the fuck was that? Y'all saw me. No, I don't like stuff crawling on me. I got a too big shirt on. Hold on. I don't like stuff crawling on me. He had them everywhere. Ooh, everywhere, right? Just like in Candyman with all the bees. Yeah, that's how Charlie was looking right now. Okay, so we go back to the beach. Saeed is questioning Michael. Like, what the fuck did you do? Now, you saw this man out here beating me blind, and you asking me, what did I do? Why did I have to do something? Because I'm black? Okay, because that was damn sure was the implication. And then he said, well, I don't know where you from. And he's like, I'm from Iraq, whatever. Well, in Iraq, I don't know if they the same as in America, but where the fuck I'm from, Koreans don't like black people. You know what? I don't think I've ever met a Korean. I met Vietnamese. There's a lot of Vietnamese in St. Louis. I met a lot of Chinese. I met a few Japanese. I don't think I've ever met a Korean person in America. Do we have a Koreatown in St. Louis? If we do, I don't know. And like the Korean restaurant that I go to here is owned by a Latino dude. He lived in Korea for a long time, learned how to cook, and came back. And so I don't think I know a Korean person. But anyway, he said Koreans don't like black people. And it's wild for me to hear that because like when I look at K-pop culture, all of their culture is do I want to say appropriated from black culture? I don't know if I really want to say appropriated. I just want to say appropriated. It's appropriated because they a lot of the music, if you listen to the songs, they are sampling or they're taking the song itself, and they just put their own words to it. They're learning the dance moves and da. I don't know. I went to Korea before. I went to Busan, Korea, when I was in the military, and I didn't have a negative experience with Koreans there. So I don't know how Koreans in America act, but the Koreans there were very welcoming to me, and it was myself and one of my boys. And if it was based off of skin color, my boy is what we call blue black. Turn off the lights, you may not see him type darkness. The sexual chocolate, yeah, he was dark like that. And no, they loved his ass over there. So I don't know. I've never experienced it there. Let me just say it. I've never been to like Koreatown, like California, or Koreatown in New York. Those are two of the bigger places that I'm familiar that has like a Koreatown. I think Chicago does too. And I haven't had that experience with those Koreans there, that if they were Korean. I don't think I would know an actual Korean. I know a lot of Filipinos. Filipinos to me is like the black Asians. Ooh, even though they got more Spanish backgrounds, more Spanish connections. Anywho, child, let me keep going. Anyway, yeah, so he kept asking, why the fuck you keep asking me? You know what I'm saying? And so when Walt heard that Koreans don't like black people, Walt was like, what you mean? They don't like us? What you mean? Talk to me about that. What do you mean by that? He tried to tell him he didn't really mean it. He was just saying something because he was angry. No. That's what you meant. You meant to say that. You meant to say that. Well, Hurley was like, we can't leave him handcuffed out here on this beach. The sun is hot. He gonna be chicken fried rice in a few minutes. Okay. Is that racist of me to say? It's not racist because I'm not oppressing nobody with the words. It's prejudice of me to say. Stereotypical prejudice of me to say. Okay. Anywho, yeah. He need to be out of here. He don't need to be sitting out in the sun. That's basically what he's telling him. Well, we go back in the day and Jen tells son, I can marry you, girl. I can marry you. But in order for me to marry you, I got to go work for your father. Son was like, what? What you mean you got to go work for my father? He said, hey, if this is what I got to do for us to be together, then I will work for your father. Son seemed kind of scared about that. And I'm like, girl, what does your father do? Okay, what does your father do that you scared that your husband is going to go to work for him? Well, we go back to Charlie over the hive, and they out there panicking and freaking out. They trying to get a suitcase to cover up the doggone hive so that way we could try to contain some of the bees. And Charlie, I think one went up his nose, one went too far on his face, and he went to go smack that mug and stepped dead on that hive. It was like Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. The whole hive just cracked, and this a swarm of bees just came up out of just bees was everywhere. Everybody took off running. And I'm thinking, go get in the water. That's usually what you do, ain't it? Get in the water, because bees don't really like water. I thought you get in the water. Well, they go to running which way and that away and this away and that away. You know, Jack and Kate start stripping off their clothes and stuff because it's bees all in their clothes. And they end up running into the cave, got away from the doggone bees. And what I think while they was in there, I thought they was finna create this sexual scene between them two to turn around and look at each other all googly ass. But instead, Kate googly ass saw a dead ass body. This body has been so dilapidated up in this doggone cave. It had been about 50 good doggone years, according to Jack. Well, Jack is a doctor, so he was probably saying, looking at the skeletal mass and the loss of skin and the decomposition. And he said, no, based off of the clothing, it takes about 50 years for the clothing to start to break down like this. Yeah, they've been dead for a long doggone time, okay? And then Jack and Charlie run in. Charlie make a little joke about the fact that, I don't know why y'all just ain't hooked up, saying y'all already have nude or some crap like that. But no, they run in and they discover, oh, damn, his body's here. It's not just one, it's two. Okay. And Locke is like, what the fuck happened to them? Okay. Well, come to find out, it's a man and a woman. So I wonder if the woman is the voice that was on the recording. Now they're recording, no, that ain't them. That ain't them. The recording been going for 16 years. They've been dead for 50 years. So this is another group. But Charlie says, I wonder if that's the people that were here before us. And Locke like, before us? What the fuck you talking about? I keep forgetting. Locke didn't know about the recording because they hadn't told him. He wasn't there initially. So He like, what you mean we're recording? Charlie tried to cover his butt. Was like, there had to be somebody here before us. So I'm just saying, maybe these were people that came before us. And I'm just talking about that. Locke ain't that dumb. He not that dumb. He knows something is off. Like I said, Charlie mentioned the people before them, and Locke like, what the fuck you talking about? Now, while Jack was going through the clothes, he had found some stones on one of the bodies. One black stone and one white stone. I don't know what they were or why they were intriguing to him, but as soon as Locke and them came into the cave, he stole them away out of Locke's sight. Did they mean something? They were significant? I mean, in today's days, spirituality is in abundance. Everybody's using crystals and stones and stuff like that. So, it might be something like that. But I don't understand why Jack was hiding away from Locke, and they didn't seem like precious stones for to be worth some money. And if it was worth some money, you can't spend it there any doggone way. So yeah, I didn't know yet at this particular time. Well, Locke and Charlie decided they was gonna hang tight while they allowed them to go take the water back, as people back there probably getting thirsty, and they gonna continue to search the plane, see if there's anything else they can find. And at first I was like, is this the plane? It don't look like part of the plane that we own, but a lot of the belongings that belong to our passengers were there. Okay, Jax tells Kate, not Jax. Why am I adding an S to every fucking thing? Jack tells Kate that they should probably move everybody into the cave. There's a sustainable water source. It's cooler temperatures. There's protection from the canopy ahead. But Kate don't look too sure. Okay. So we go back to the beach, and Sun is talking to Jen, saying she wants to explain things to everybody so they can let Jen go. And he like, no, how the fuck you gonna do that? No. Okay. And I was like, does she know English? Is she just pretending? He like, we don't need to explain shit to anybody, okay? Only thing you need to do is stay by my side. Now, we know back in the day, Jen was being an asshole, okay? By him working for her father, his whole mood and demeanor had started to change. He stopped being the loving, caring, compassionate person that he was. He's starting to be disrespectful and somewhat abusive to her. And he comes in one day covered in blood. And she like, who blood is that? Okay. And he didn't want to explain it to her. And it come to find out her daddy is a motherfucking gangster. Okay. Probably mafioso. I know that's Spanish, or the triad, and that's probably Chinese. He's something like that. You know what I'm saying? Along those lines. Her daddy is a gangster. And Jen said that, he gonna do whatever her daddy say to do. And probably include putting hits on people, because it wasn't him that was bleeding. It was somebody else's blood. And she's like, what the hell are you doing that for? He said, so we could be together. What the hell you mean? This was the price I had to pay. If he hear flossing fancy gold watches and jewels and bangles and buy her exotic dogs and shit like that, Well, Charlie said he's finna go out and go to the bathroom. Locke is like, I'm coming with you. What you finna do? He said, I just told you I'm going to the loo. What, you finna be following me? He said, wherever you go, I go. What you talking about? You move, I move, just like that. So, Charlie go out there to go to the bathroom. He tried to run off, but Locke was right there with him. Locke, doop, 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 doop. Well, back on the beach, Saeed says he doesn't want to leave either when Jack comes back and tells them. He's like, no, why the fuck are we leaving? He basically has the same concerns that Kate has. It reduces the chances of them being found. If a plane flies over that doggone beach and they don't see nothing, they're going to keep going. They ain't going to come back. Okay? But being that the group is now having opposing views, some people want to go to the cave and some people don't, they about to split the camp. This is opposite of what Jack just preached the day before about being safety in numbers and building a community there together. If we gonna die alone if we be alone type shit. But Jack is like, this just makes sense. We got to start thinking long term. Okay? We got to start thinking long term. If we stay out here on this beach and nobody ever comes, we gonna die anyway. So let's go into the cave with a better chance of survival. Well, Sawyer comes up. I think Hurley say something to Jack too about him and Kate. Everybody teasing this. So they already building up this Kate and Jack romance. And Sawyer come up to Kate and say something. How does it feel to be, wanted by, what he call falafel? He call him falafel. Lord have mercy. Isn't falafel Greek? Is falafel an Indian food as well? I know it's a Greek dish. He calls him falafel. He talked about Saeed and Jack. How I feel to be wanted by both of these men. Kate just laughed it off and ignore it. And then she asked him about the beach too, and he said, "Well, I don't know." And he gave the same reasons. If I be here and the plane comes, we can be saved. If we not heard, then the plane comes, then we can't be saved. So he hasn't made up his mind yet what he wants to do. Well, back in the day, after years of being with Jen and dealing with his changing moods and his elevating hostility, Sun decided that she was going to leave him. She wanted to run, okay? This is the day before they get on the plane. The plan is for her to pretend that her and Jen are going to be flying out together. And at 11:15 a.m., she's going to sneak outside the airport. There's going to be a car out there waiting for her. They're going to fake a whole kidnapping of the family, and they're going to pretend that she was killed in the process, and she's going to be dead in order to get away from him. And then she's going to go off and live free in America because they look like an American passport. And the lady asked her, has she studied her lessons? She said, yeah, she's been studying. I say, oh, yeah, she know English. She know English, right? So we on the beach, and she finally decides that she gonna go tell Michael what's really going down. Michael off in the wood cutting some bamboo up with the axe and everything, and she's standing there looking at his old chocolate body, sweat glistening all down his body. She's standing there looking at him picking through the doggone bamboo shoots, and she come out and said, "I need to talk to you." He like, "What the hell? Hold up, back up, woman. You can talk English. You can speak English. What's going on?" She was like, "My husband doesn't know." He's like, "Why the hell would your husband not know that you can't speak English?" Okay. He was like, wait. So she leans into Michael for help, but we don't get to hear the conversation. All of a sudden, he rushes out there next to Jen. And he, because he learned from her son that the watch that he had on was Jen's watch. Okay, Jen got that watch from her daddy, and the way that he tried to beat him down about that damn watch let her know that he's not a changed man. He's not gonna change. This is who he is now. It's in him. He's fighting for the honor of her father, and they ain't nowhere around this motherfucker, right? Her daddy was not a good man, okay? So he brings out the watch and says, "You can have this motherfucking watch. I found it a couple of days ago. Mine stopped working. But then I realized I don't give a fuck about this $20,000 watch on this beach when we got to worry about time. Time is not of the fucking essence." Okay, so he threw him the goddamn watch and took the axe up and wow. And Jen thought he should have whacked his fucking arm off. But he cut him out the goddamn handcuffs. Michael too good of a person. But he told him, "You stay the fuck away from me and stay the fuck away from my son." I was waiting for him to say, "Stay the fuck away from son." But he said, "His son." Anyway, he left his little ass there on the beach. Well, Locke found Charlie after he went to the bathroom. He said, "Look, I told you I was going to stick to you like glue." He followed his butt around the jungle. He told him, "Look here, dude, I know who you are." He started telling him about his group and everything, about him being a musician. He talked about his last albums. He said, "I know who you are and what you're looking for." So he told him, "Look here, give up the dope." And Charlie said, "What the fuck you talking about? Don't be accusing me of something." He says, "I know you. Give me the dope. I know you finna go through a lot of pain, but I know you. Give me the dope." He said, "You love your guitar. You ain't played, what you say, in 8 days and 11 hours, 15 minutes, 32 seconds. You fiending for the doggone guitar. You fiending for music to be in your soul, what have you. But do you love music more than you love the drug?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Well, give me the fucking dope." And he's like, "You really think you're going to find my guitar?" He said, "Look here, the one thing I know about this island, if you give it something, it will give you something, okay? So give me the dope." He put the dope in his hand. He said, "And look up." He said, "Dude, you trying to get me to pray?" He said, "Look up." He looked up, right up there on the rocks was his motherfucking guitar. Case ain't busted up, nothing, just safe and sound. There was the guitar. And Charlie like, "Well, look at God." They happy and excited. He get back in the cave and he like, I don't know what song he was playing, but that's just what is in my head. Anyway, child. So Kate tell Jack, "I can't go. I can't go. It's not for me." And he was like, what is wrong with you, woman? Why did you become this person? Why didn't you want to save yourself? And she was like, I don't want to be Eve. Because they named the two bodies in the cave, Adam and Eve. She said, I don't want to be Eve. I don't want to be the dead woman in the cave. I cannot accept this as existence. I need to continue to fight. I need to be out here on this beach in the event that somebody find us. I need to keep trying to find a way for us to leave this doggone island if nobody don't find us. Being in that cave is going to make me comfortable and complacent. I don't want to do that, right? And Jack is like, girl, why you tripping? She's like, boy, why you tripping? Okay. So he says, fine, I'm going to leave. If you want, you know where to find me if you need me. She was like, well, you know where to find me. Okay. The fuck? Right. Well, back at the airport, it's 11:15 a.m. And Sun is standing behind Jen, and she's panicking. She's starting to get nervous. She looks outside and she sees his car out there in front of the door waiting on her to come jump in. And then she looked over at Jen, and he looked so nice and so innocent. And we already know he not, because he just beat the shit out of Michael. But back then, he looking so nice and innocent. He even got a flower for her. And then she just can't do it. She can't leave him. She got hope, okay? She walks up to him with tears in her eyes, sniffling, snot dripping and everything. She took the flower from his hand. She's like, oh my God, this is beautiful. He like, baby, it's everything good. It's fine. It's fine. And she couldn't leave. And she got on that plane with Jen. She wouldn't even been on the damn island. She wouldn't even been on the damn island. She stood by his side. They get to the cave. And Locke is in there with Charlie and people coming in. Locke's like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? Jack hadn't told them. Remember, he made the decision for himself. Like Saeed said, when was you going to tell us that you decided to start your own civilization? What's going on, right? Jack hadn't told anybody that they was relocating. He did went around and got the people collected. So we had Jack, Hurley, Sun, and Jen. They all came over, okay? Sawyer, Saeed, Kate, and Michael, they all stayed at the beach. They did not show us Rose. They did not show us Claire. They did not show us Boone. They did not show us Shannon. So I don't know which direction that these people chose to go. I would imagine Shannon would like to go into the cave for comfort. Boone would probably stay on the beach, try to be the hero. Rose most likely would go to the cave, Who's that? Rose, Shannon, Boone. Somebody else I said they didn't show. There was 4 people they didn't show. Fuck, I don't know. Okay. Claire. I would imagine Claire would want to go inside the cave to be comfortable, with her baby coming and everything. Anyway, I can't imagine that in that cave is where Locke is going to stay. Like Hurley said, that he was going to where the food was at and the board was going with them. Why was all the board going with them? I don't know. Maybe he just assumed because Locke was in the cage that Locke can catch them more board. So I don't know what Locke was going to do. I couldn't imagine Locke staying in that cave. He's an adventurer. He's an explorer. I can't really imagine Locke staying at the beach either, because he's an adventurer. He's an explorer. So we'll see, y'all. That is the end of this episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you're following me on my Discord channel, you may see me pop up these episodes, and that way you can watch them with me. While I was researching for this doggone episode, I was actually playing it. So if you are a member of my Discord, then you can actually watch some of the TV shows that I'm watching as I'm watching it. You can watch movies. I would throw out random ones. We saw G20 on there. We saw One of Them Days, the not the sneak preview, the season finale of Raising Kanan, and the season finale of The Handmaid's Tale. I'll be watching those live on there as well when they air. Well, Handmaid's Tale is already shown, but I'll tell y'all when it's going to air on there. Go to my community page and you see posts about the watch parties, and you can see the link to join. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching.